Okay, what were we gonna do?
Can we, would that farm take too long?
Oh, we can start on it. If you just want to see how I did parts of those.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do the water tower.
How about the water tower and the barn?
Okay.
Those are the two hardest.
Or actually, let's start with the fence. Did we already do the fence? Did I show you the fence already?
The beginning of it.
Yeah, I'll just go through it real fast. Because now that I'm recording this, this should be easy. Okay, on the wireframe. Of course, you saw I deleted everything in my scene, turn on my wireframe, and I turn off my 3D cursor because it drives me crazy.
I don't remember.
So I'm going to add a cube. Oh yeah, I'm going to set my units. I like my units to be inches. Did you see that? I changed that from metric to imperial, and that from feet to inches. Okay.
Okay.
So now, oh, do I have the screencast keys installed over here? Nope, I don't have screencast keys. Anyway, here we go. I want this to be, I guess my cube's still, add cube's still down here. I want it to be, why is this still showing meters? I changed you to imperial. Did I not just change that? I swear.
I saw you change it.
Yeah, that was weird.
Oh.
Weird. A little bit ago, let's see. Let's open our calculator. Let's make this fence 4 feet tall. So 4 times 12 is 48 inches, right? So I hit F right there. You know, I'm going to install some screencast keys so you can see. I thought I installed that. Maybe I didn't. Oh, that's right. I just did it on me. Okay. Screencast keys. So I'm going to make a folder in your downloads folder called Blender add-ons. We might get some more add-ons eventually, but this screencast key is pretty freaking awesome. What it is. Okay, close that. Go to edit, preferences, add-ons, install, go to downloads, under add-ons, screencast keys. There we go, screencast keys. Turn that on. Okay. So now you have that there, so I can turn that on. And I like to do the font size to be like around 18. Oh, yours is different. Yours is better than mine. Now I'm going to set that font size to be a little bit bigger. Okay. That'll work. Did I get some? Yeah, I accidentally added something in there. So you can see down here in the bottom left, it's showing you what mouse clicks I'm doing and what key presses I'm doing. So you can see me hitting key W. So that's why I added that, so you can see what keys I'm pressing. I don't have to sit there and tell you. So I'm going to change my origin. First, I have to change my snapping to vertex. Control, click down there. Now I can change that to 0. Now I've got to, let's make sure I change that back. I've got one fence post, right? So I figured out a better, easier way to do this this part that might not throw you off as bad. We're going to do 2 rope cuts. So if I look from the front, make sure I hit Q. I have to move that down. I could just grab like one vertex there, and I'm just going to do what's, I just call it a wiggle. I can grab this one and give it a wiggle. So if you look, I'm in the front orthographic view. So I'm going to give a wiggle here, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And then I'm going to give a little wiggle here, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And then I'm going to go F2, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to grab that one, give it a wiggle, grab that one, give it a wiggle. I'm just giving these little wiggles just to kind of goof them a bit. So now I'm going to do Control F1. So now I'm from the back orthographic view. This is just another way to do it. And I'm going to do Control F2, so I'm now from the left instead of the right. Okay, I'm just giving stuff wiggles. So now when I just kind of orbit around, you can see it's a little bit misshapen, just like your face, right?
Right.
Right.
Funny.
All right, so now if I change my view here so that I'm looking up here, making sure I'm getting my orientation correct. I got X to the right, Z up, Y to the back. Now I'm going to duplicate. I just right-clicked, and I'm going to move that over. And I'm going to move it over. This is a 4-foot tall fence, so I'm going to do 4 foot tall here, so that's what? 48. Right? Because now I'm going to duplicate this one, but now I'm just going to rotate it. Control. I'm just going to bring it up to about where those, I'm going to duplicate that again. Right. And now I'm just going to grab both of those, duplicate one more time, and pull those out here. And that's my fence. Okay.
Awesome.
Now, to make this look even better, what I could do is take this one and rotate it, because they all kind of look the same. So I'm going to rotate this one 90 degrees. If I even just start to rotate that, see my rotate comes up down here?
Yeah.
I could just type that in there, 90. I just rotated that 90 degrees, I think. So that way did that rotate 90 degrees? Everything just don't look the same. It seems like I was going this way. No, I probably got, oh yeah, there, that's better. So that one's going down, that one's going that way. So, you know what, I could just grab one of these and do the same. I could rotate one of these around. In fact, even if I don't snap, and I just get them close, that kind of, sometimes snapping, you don't want to snap. You want things to look kind of organic. In fact, I'm going to do that here with all of these. I'm just going to give them a, whoa, give them a little wiggle so they're not quite where they're supposed to be. So it looks like the farmer came along and planted this post, but he had maybe had a couple shots of whiskey before he did it. Right? So I'm going to just rotate these around, rotate again. That's where that one ended up. And this one will go the other way. We'll just kind of go like that. So these should look a little bit more organic, you know, not like a robot put them in place. So now I'm just going to grab them all. And I'm going to go Object, Join. So it's all one object. So if you look up here in the outliner, it's all one object. And I'm going to name this Fence. Okay. So now what's our next step when we model? We go down, we went layout, we did our modeling. We're not going to sculpt, UV editing, right?
Right.
So this path, you need to follow this path. UV editing next. So if I go, I'm going to select everything. We're doing a Control A. I need to turn on my screencast keys for here because it's per, to toggle it. Stupid. Control A, I selected everything. Frame up on it there. I also have to select everything over here because it's whatever. So first thing, we go back into object mode. Pull this out and look at my item. My scale is off. First thing you got to do when you do UV editing is these all need to be one. Object, apply, scale. Now they're all one, right?
Right.
That's important. So now I can go into face mode, do a Control A to select all the faces, and we're just going to do a simple one. We're going to go UV, Smart UV Project, OK. And then I come over here and I go UV, Seams from Islands, and then I go back over here, UV Unwrap. And then that did a perfect unwrap. And that's it. That's the easiest way to UV unwrap. Those things, I go UV, let me just do that. So UV, Smart UV Project, and then I come over here and I go mark seams from islands. Seams are putting these orange lines saying that's a seam, that's a seam. And then I do an unwrap, and then I'm done. Now I've got a perfect. In fact, I'm going to show you real quick how to see that is a really good. I'm just going to close these. I come down here to my material, and I have that selected, and I make a new material. Right here where it says base color, I'm going to hit that little circle, and I'm going to choose checker texture. Of course, I have to turn in the texture preview mode for it. See it? You can see some checkers there. But I have to, right down here where it says vector and it says default, that's not what I want. I want it to look at the UVs. So that's better. But now I have to come down here to my scale and crank that up. Whoa, that went way too high. Let's go back to 20. That looks good.
Wow.
So you can see my squares. I should show you this, what this would look like if we hadn't done our UV unwrap. This would be all messed up. but because we did do a UV unwrap, all those squares, all those checkers look great. Okay, and I do that just to make sure that my UV unwrap looks good. So that's the fence post. So we could go file. I think let me do a save as. Are we in Joe's? Where are we at? Joe A3D. Let me look in here. What's this new folder? So you made a new folder but didn't name it. I'm going to steal that new folder. Rename. We'll call this farm. Alright. So we'll go into that. Just double click that. Okay, farm. And we're going to call this one fence. Save. So that's the fence.
Wow.
We'll do that later. Alright, so now we're going to go new. Oh, hold on. I gotta turn on I think my screencast keys gets turned off all the time. Okay. Control-Alt-Delete. IC cursor, turn on the wireframe. Okay. So now we're gonna do the water tower.
Ooh, that's a fun one.
So I'm going to start with just a cylinder. Right now the radius is 12 inches. That's not very big. That's a very small water tower. I would say a water tower should be about at least 3 feet across. Probably, yeah, I'm going to go 3 feet across. I don't know. It's going to be a small water tower. 3 times 12. We just want your radius, so divided by 2. 18. So that was only 2 feet across. Now it's 3 feet across. Okay. Let's see. Height, we'll make it 4 feet high. How's that? There's my water tower. Let's go ahead and do this little trick. Well, that made sense, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the first thing is in a water tower, you have a band. Let me just gotta show you. Let's Google up a water tower. So these are kind of more modern looking water towers. I want kind of an old style one. So I'm gonna type the word Western in there. Western. There we go. In fact, this is the one that I modeled right there. Well, he didn't do it right. Water tower. Oh, maybe it was this one. Yeah, it was this one. All right, so this is the one I did. See how the bands, they get closer together the further down you are? That's because the water gets heavier down here, because there's not as much water up here, and there's more water and more water, so they put more bands down below. Those bands are what's keeping the planks from flying apart. It's basically a barrel. Basically just a big barrel. So we got to make our bands, but they got to get closer together as they go down. So I have one band, and it's already selected. So I'm going to go to bevel, pull out on that, and make make a band. I'm going to just go ahead and move this one up to about right there. Now I'm going to do my next band. I'm going to do my bevel. It's already selected. And I'm just eyeballing these. I'm going to move that one up to about right there. And now I'm going to do another band. The bevel. Move that one up. About right there. One more band. The bevel. Leave it there. So they I could do this better. Let me just go into 3 mode. I'm moving that up. This one needs to be wider. So I just double click to there. Okay. Whatever. That one needs to be a little bit wider. So I'm just double clicking those. That selects the whole ring. Right. 3. See, if I double click there, it's not doing it the direction I want. I have to make sure. So here's a tip on selecting. If I have you can see my cursor okay, right?
Yep.
If I have it up at the top of this face, it's selecting up and down that way. But if I have it on the right side or the left side, and I double click, it selects that way. So if it's at the top or the bottom, then you double click, then it selects the loop in this direction. If you have it on the left or the right, then it selects the loop in that direction. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So that makes it easy to select all these loops. Now I'm just going to do an extrude along normals. Pull that out. And it doesn't have to be very far. There we go. Ta-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And then let's see. Let's do the top. I'm going to do this. I'm going to be in face mode. I'm going to select that. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do what's called a poke. That put I made a vertex in the center and connected all these other ones to that one in the center. That way I can just grab that one. I'm going to go W, zoom out a little bit. And I'm going to do that.
Wow.
Right, I just pulled that guy up. That's all. That wasn't nothing big. I just made a point, pull that guy up. So actually, it's not quite that tall, is it? Let's pull that down just a little bit. Okay. But now I'm going to go 3, face mode. I can't select those with an edge ring because of the way it is, so I'm just going to do it this way. I went into X-ray mode. Okay. Now I'm going to do again a extrude along normals. Not quite so far. Right there. I did that, so that is aiming the right way. So now I have that. Now I can again do an extrude along normals. Pull that down. And there's my roof. Now I can actually technically get rid of this ring right there. I don't need it. Delete. Dissolve edges. There's my roof. There's my water tower.
Wow.
But water towers don't sit on the ground, do they? They sit up here in the air. So now if I look, this guy has a base. Looks like just some planks. Here we can actually go into this. Now I just made mine a cube. If we want, we can actually make those planks. Let's go ahead and do yours better. We're going to go add, mesh, cube. Actually, I'm gonna Control Z. I'm gonna put that back down there on the ground just for a second. Add mesh cube. And this time I'm just gonna eyeball it. Bring that down. Check it out like that. Let's see. Get my orientation right here. Bring this over this way. What are we getting close to being here? Let's go ahead and go 1.5. That is a 2x4. And then we'll go 4. I'll make that one 50. Okay. Oops. Didn't mean to do that one. I'm going to isolate that. Again, we'll put in some loops. We want these to be a little wonky. So right now, they're already selected. So if I just hit E for rotate, you know, and I already have them selected, I can do that other method that I did where I just kind of give it a little bit of a wiggle. Maybe that was too much of a wiggle. You don't want them to be too bad. Maybe I could select this face and give it a bit of a wiggle. Select that face and give it a bit of a wiggle. So that one's maybe I went a little too crazy on that one. Okay. Let's come out of isolate mode. So we're going to grab this guy and we're going to... Actually, here's how I'm going to do this. I'm going to just duplicate and pull this way. But I'm going to flip it around. There's a real easy way to do that. I can just come up here to rotation, Z, 180. Done. So that just rotated it around the Z-axis. Now I'm going to grab both of those, duplicate in this direction. Do that one more time. I'm going to grab all of those, duplicate in this direction. I think I got one too many. How's that?
That's pretty awesome.
Now again, I'm going to object. I have to select one of them, then select them all. Object, join. So now they're all one object, and that's up. So this cylinder, we're going to name it water tank. We'll just name it tank. Hey, tank. So here we'll call,
Base? No.
Base. Yeah, base works. How about platform?
Yeah, that works.
Okay. So I'm going to isolate that again. So you can see my scales are all messed up, right? So I'm going to go ahead and show you what this looks like if I have that material here with the, I haven't added my material yet. I can do that with both of these, in fact. Let me unisolate this. So both of these, that one's still one. Well, I haven't UV unwrapped either one of these, so let's just try adding that material to both of these. I'm going to go base color, checker texture. Vector needs to be UVs. Actually, I'm not going to do the UVs yet right now. Let's just go here. I'm going to bring my scale. I like to bring it up to around 20.
Wow.
So you can see the checkers aren't exactly square in some of the spots. That one's really long. These ones are really short. They're not great. Let me go ahead and tell it to use the UVs. We'll see if that fixes it. That made it a little better, but actually kind of worse. Like now they're really tall, and on our planks it's even worse. So now all we have to do is just, if we do the UV unwrap on these guys, it'll just fix everything. So let's go ahead and do that. We got that and this one to do. Let's just go to UV editing. First thing I have to do is what?
Frame up.
And then what? Oh, that's the scale's already one, so we're good. So I can just grab this. I go into face mode, select all my faces. I turn on my stupid screencast keys. You have to toggle it. It's dumb. So I got all my faces selected, right? I can look around. I got them all. Go UV, Smart UV Project. Okay, put them over here. So I select all those. Frame up even. UV, seams from islands. Each one of these is called an island, and I just put a seam around all those islands. Okay, so there's that. So now I just go back to UV, unwrap. That, put everything nice. So that one's done. Let's go back and look at it over here. So you can see the checkers may not be lining up. Let me make this higher. I'm going to go to 40 because you'll see this better. They're all the same size though. So there's a seam right here. You can see that's the same size. There it is. There's a good spot. Right up here is a good spot. You can see they're all the same size. That actually is a good UV layout. It's just that there's seams. These are different. Anyway, trust me, it's good. All right. So now
I trust you, Don.
we're gonna do this one. So my scale all messed up, right? Not even close to one. So how do I fix that?
Going to object,
Uh-huh.
apply,
Uh-huh.
scale.
Perfect. Good job. All right, so we got that. So now I go 3, and I can do Control A to select it all. UV, Smart UV Project. Okay, that's done. Select them all. UV, seams from islands. And then over here, UV, unwrap. Done. Done and done. It's that simple. Come back here. Look how good that looks. That looks good. Everything's the same. That's good.
Wow.
Okay. Because we want that, because when we start applying textures, they'll be all messed up if we don't UV unwrap. $3D's complicated, huh?
Oh, yeah.
A lot
Oh,
to
yeah.
it. Okay, let's drink some coffee here. All right. So now let's go back and look at our reference. The base, the tower, the scaffolding. It's going to be easy. Here we go. We're going to do this real easy. I'm going to add the cube. I'm going to move it. Actually, I'm just going to move these guys up. Eventually, this will all be one object, and they'll all be up in the air. You better save. File. Save as. We're in our farm thing. There's our fence. Water tower. Save as. Okay. So this guy again, I'm gonna do it. Let's do 6 by 6s, so they're nice and big. And the heights will make this bed. I don't know. We'll just actually, well, here's what I'm gonna do. Well, we'll do it that way. We'll pick a height. Let's say this guy's only 8 feet high. It's not a very tall water tower. So 8 times 12. 96.
How's that?
And then I go here. And I've already got that. Make sure I turn that off. And then I put that 0. There we go. Hey, look at that.
Wow.
I was almost right on the money. So I'm actually just gonna kind of eyeball this a little bit. Now he did it the same. Yeah, so I think that's why I chose it. A lot of these kind of lean in and taper in. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna make it square. So I'm gonna look from the top. Let's go into this mode. Alt X so I can see. I'm up here. And I'm just gonna move this guy down here. Right about there. And then I'm going to duplicate. Pull that over there. Rotate around so I can grab them both. F3 again. Duplicate. Pull those over here. Done. Go ahead and move these guys into place, huh? F1. Frame up here. Pull that down. Alright, so I need some connecting beams. I'm just gonna actually just steal this one. Duplicate. You alright there, buddy?
Oh yeah.
E. Rotate this guy around until I'm at 90. Let's change him up a bit here. Definitely not that long. Whoa. What's that? That looks good. And I'm going to make these 4x4. How's that look?
Wow.
Duplicate that over here. Duplicate this one more time. I'm just going to rotate. Oh, shit. Is that working? Oh, it is. Okay. 35. Oop. 90. But they're all messed up. Let's see. We'll go this way. So again, you can see after I do something, I'm always looking at it, right? I'm looking around to see how it went. And you can see that I'm switching to different views, these views, to do certain operations, just because it's the best one to use. Let's select those again. And I'm going to duplicate, pull that up. There we go. And I'm just going to do one. I'm going to duplicate this one. And I'm going to rotate this way. I'm going to go to 45 degrees. I'm just gonna go into one, Alt-X, grab all those guys, move. But I want to move on the axe in this direction, so if I change this to normal, see how now my arrow is helping me out?
Yeah.
I'm just going to pull that up like that. Alright, and now I'm just going to duplicate this over here. I need to change this back to global. So my arrow's helping me out. I'm going to flip to, which view do I want? F2, I think. Nope, F1. Is that going in the right spot? Yep, okay. Duplicate. E. This time I'll go 90 degrees. The hell? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go apply object, apply rotation. There we go. So now when I rotate this, well, I only did one. Well, I guess I got to get you. No, object, apply rotation. Okay. So this guy, minus 90. This guy, I'm screwing this all up. What the hell? Right here. Okay. Object, apply, rotation, Z. There we go. Minus 90. This guy, minus 90. There's way easier ways to do this, but I'm just trying to keep this easy for you. F3, X-ray mode, move. Let's move this guy over here.
It's like a big Z.
So actually this one, well, let's see. Let's look at our reference here. He's got these as crosses. I am going to do that. All right. So watch this. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to duplicate again. And I'm going to rotate this one plus 90. Yeah. And then pull this over. All right.
Yeah.
Same thing here. Actually, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab all these. Let's make this easier. I'm going to go object apply, rotation. So now it's all my rotations are 0. In fact, I'm also going to apply my location. That puts my pointer in the middle. So when I duplicate, now I can do a rotation of 90. Stupid fucking blender. It's just dumb the way it does it, some of its stuff. Let's just do this manually. But now I have one more over here that needed to be over here. I'll just move it manually. God damn it. So I should have X's all the way around. Oh, what happened here? Okay. I am having the hardest time getting my pointer to click where I want it to click. So this guy, I'm going to set origin to the middle of the thing, and then 90 that guy, and 180 that guy. Okay. This one needs to move in just a little bit. Close enough. Good enough for government work, right?
Oh, yeah.
So that's pretty close to me. He's got several levels of that stuff, but we're going to call that good. Okay? So now, this here's our water tower, and if we look over here, we've got our tank. That's our platform, and now we got all these other cubes here. I'm just going to select all of those. What am I going to do next?
Call it,
I'm going to join it. I'm going to join, so it's all one object. Oops, hold on. Select them all. Object, join. So now I have, let's see if something went weird. As soon as I see things go weird. Okay. So this, let's call it the actual tower. I'm just going to call it the tower. So what do we have to do next?
gotta get up to the tower.
Let's apply our material to it. Anything weird about that?
Oh, that is weird.
Why is it looking like that? Why doesn't it look like that?
Because it needs to be UV wrapped.
Un-V-wrapped?
No.
UV unwrapped.
Unwrapped.
Right, UV, not unwrapped, UV unwrapped. UV unwrapped. So we go up to our UV editing. So let's, first thing I need to do is what? Before I can unwrap it.
Check the scale.
Yep, my scale is all messed up. So object, apply, scale, 111. There we go. 3, select them all, UV, Smart UV project, done. Select them all, UV, seams from islands. Then I can just go UV unwrap, and we're done. And it is that simple. Now look at it.
Ow.
I mean, it just looks 1,000 times better, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, everything's just the way it's supposed to be. I'm going to call that done. Let's go back on these two and do some texturing, okay?
Okay.
Because what do we have now? We have our fence and our water tower. Let's go ahead and go back to our fence. Well, let's just do the water tower while we're here. So what do we want for a material for a water tower? Let's take a look at our reference image here. What does he use? Basically, it's wood, metal on the top, and I didn't put these bands there. We could do that. We could do that real quick. Should we do that? I think we should do that.
Yeah, we could do that.
Just isolate this part on a 2 mode. Let's see. This might be hard. I'm going to skip that. Just because I want to keep going faster. Let's just do this part. Okay, we're going to go, so he has metal on top, wood here. These bands are, of course, going to be like metal. So metal and wood, basically, right? Let's go. So we're in materials. We're in our cool little plug-in here. Let's go wood. Let's try that one. maybe.
Yeah.
Try that one.
That one's better.
Yeah, I like that one.
I like that one's cool.
Okay, so now that we're messing with this stuff, let's just go ahead and grab us I do like that, and we're going to say yes. Let's go ahead and grab some metal. Let's just try metal. See what we find. I'm guessing it's going to be like an old rusty iron, kind of like that guy.
Ooh, yeah.
Let's try that. Yeah, I like the look of that. Okay, so first thing we have to do is we need 2 material slots. We only have one. Let's add a second one. And we'll put that. See, this one up here, I wanted, which one was it? Was it that wood? No,
No.
that wood. Alright. And this one down here will be the rusty painted metal. So, let that go away. So we want to apply this rusty painted metal to the top. I'm going to go in this mode. I'm just going to come down here. I'm going to go F1. I can select all those easily by just double clicking. I made sure that my pointer is to the right, on the right side of that face, and I double click, boom, selected it all. Rusty painted metal, assign. Let's look underneath here. Can I do the same thing here? Boom, easy. Rusty painted metal, assign. Now to get this top, I can't exactly do that. It doesn't work because these aren't quads. So I'm going to go F1, X-ray mode, just do this, select, that selected them all, right? So I'm going to look around, I got them all, rusty painted metal, assign. So if I come back here, that's got rusty painted metal, and that's got wood. So now I need to do the same with these bands, right? These should be easy.
Yeah.
These should be easy because they are all quads. I can just double click. Oh, come on, double click. There, it did it. Rusty painted metal, assign. Try the same again. I'm going to go into this mode because it's faster. Rusty painted metal, assign. Missed it. Missed it again. Got it. Rusty painted metal, assign. Come down here. Got it. Rusty painted metal, assign. Try it again. Rusty painted metal, assign. Rusty painted metal, assign. Yep, I got it. So I'm not following my own advice and zooming in as if I'm kind of zooming in, but I'm being lazy about it. Always do as I say, not as I do. Right? Yeah, got it. First try. So this all makes sense what I'm doing. I'm just selecting these and assigning that material to those faces. Got it. This bottom face here, I could technically delete that, but I'm just going to leave it there. Who knows? We might animate it and our tank will fall down. Who knows? How does that look?
That's pretty cool.
Okay, I kind of want the grain, though, of this wood to be running up and down, not left and right. So let's take this bad boy and let's go into our shading mode. We better save. It was a lot of work. I hate to lose that. Shading. I'm going to isolate that. If I come down here and I select my wood, I can hopefully, nope, of course not. So I have to add. So I'm missing my magic node over here. So I am in use nodes mode. I can turn that off, it doesn't matter. I'm always going to be using nodes, whether that's turned on or not. Use nodes, okay. This is the texture, and I need to, whoa, where'd you go? Anyway, I just need to do this. I need to go add, input, texture coordinate, and then I need to go add vector mapping. Those are two that you're just gonna, from time to time, whoever made this texture didn't add those. I don't know why, he's an idiot. But I can go ahead and go UV to vector, and then vector to vector. That way, now I can rotate my texture here, what is it, 90 degrees, and now it's running up and down instead of left and right. I also think I want to scale it. So I'm going to go 10. Way too much. Way too much. 5. Just go 3. That looks better. Now I'm going to do the same with this rusty painted metal. I think I want to scale it. And again, it doesn't have the magic nodes. That's frustrating. But you just kind of get used to. Oh, there's the texture coordinate is in there. Let me look at this wood again. Did it have a texture coordinate node? It did not. Okay, but the rusty painted metal has a texture coordinate node. Generated. What? No. Anyway, add vector mapping, and I'm going to put that right here in the middle. I want this to be UV. I gotta wait for it to finish. Okay. Yeah, UV. Then I'm going to change my scale. Let's try 4. That looks good. I'm going to try 5. It's just a little bit more. We just try 10 just to see what that looks like. Oh yeah, it's actually not bad. Okay, so let's come back. What do you think of that?
Wow. That's
So
pretty cool.
this is where I like to turn off my wireframe so I can see it. So if we make this wood different from this wood, it'll look a little bit better. We could just try adding that wood. So that's wood 01. What do you think of that?
Awesome.
It's actually not bad. But we could try this wood with that other wood. No, I like the wood 01.
Yes, one's better.
Or we could pick a whole new wood. Let's just try doing this thing with all that same wood. That's not bad.
Bad at all.
It's not bad for a white guy. Pretty fly for a white guy. I'm going to call that all right. We're going to call that one done. There's our tower. So now one thing I like to do is clean up my scene. I have downloaded materials that I don't need. There's materials and stuff in here that I'm not using. And one of the easiest ways to do that is you come up here to this orphan data. And it's showing this is all stuff that's not being used. So I'm going to go purge, purge. There's still a few more. Purge, purge. And just that till it doesn't let me purge anymore. So now it's good. It's all cleaned up. I'll go back to my view layer. So now when I look in here, I only have materials that I'm using. That's that UV material, and I like it to it stayed because we kind of used it. Otherwise, we got our rusty painted metal and our wood 01, and we're done. So we're going to save that, and we're going to close this one. And let's open up our fence. So that plugin that we used created this assets folder right here, and that's where all of the materials, the textures come from. Or I guess it's in the materials. Yeah, there's the textures. Anyway, that assets folder came from this plugin. It created it. So we need materials for here. We need some wood, right?
Yeah.
Materials. How about wood? So we could use that same old wood. Want to try it?
Sure.
Okay, wood. What do you think? Let's try this one. This old wood here.
That looks like more of a...
Yeah, it looks more like a fence to me.
That one's actually pretty good.
I like this. Do you want this one?
That's a keeper.
Yeah, okay. So let's go over to our shading and just make sure that it's all good. Yeah, see, we don't have our magic node, just in case we want to scale it or something. But this is really easy to hook up. Are you starting to kind of figure this out? I mean, you just have to watch it over and over and over. These nodes here that are brown or kind of orange, these are actually our textures. These are the ones that are pointing to the textures. The textures being the actual picture. And we want to be able to scale those. This here is our main... anyway, don't get too bogged down in this whole thing. The main thing is to the left of these textures, you want these two nodes. You want to add, input, texture coordinates, and then add vector mapping. UV goes up here to vector. Vector goes to vector on that one. Vector goes to vector on that one. So you just have to apply this vector thing to any of these orange nodes. So sometimes you'll see orange nodes over here. So you just bring that, anything that's orange like this, you apply this vector. So we need this purple one and we need this red one. And we connect the purple one we connect the red one from UV to vector, and then we connect vector to vector on all the orange ones, and that's it. It's really not that hard. You'll get used to it.
Okay.
That way, if we wanted to scale this up just a little bit, we can. Let's just try 3. Way too much. 2. I think it was fine right where it's at.
Yep, one's good.
But we didn't know until we tried it. That's a good looking fence, buddy.
Sure is.
So now we're going to start a new scene, a whole new project, and we're going to call this one Farm.
Okay.
Let's just do the normal things. Turn off that, turn on that, change our units, imperial, inches, turn on our screencast keys so we can see what's going on. All right. I'm just going to save it right out of the gate, even though it's empty. Right here. We're going to call this one farm. This is going to be our main scene, and we're going to import those other objects into this scene. But before I do that, I forgot to do something. Let me just open up. I'm just going to minimize that one. I'm going to go back to fence. Open it up. Other thing I wanted to do is, so all of this stuff, so our fence is in a collection called collection. I want to change the name of that collection to fence. Okay? This will make more sense later. Now I'm just going to save that. Close that one. Now I'm going to open up water tower. So we have the parts that make up our water tower, tank, and platform in a collection called collection. I'm going to name that collection water tower. This will make sense later. And save that. So now when I come back to the one that's called farm, I'm going to be right here on scene collection. I'm going to go file, append. I'm going to start with fence, and I'm going to double click it, and there's a collection there, and I see all these different things. These are all those different things in there. There are objects in here, and in fact this object only has a fence, but I'm going to do this by collection. So there's a collection called fence, because I just named my collection fence. And I go append, and you can see, because I was in my scene collection up here, it brought in that collection, and it has the fence. And there's my fence, and it's already in a collection called fence. All right? Beautiful. So now I'm going to do that again. File, append. Need to go up, up. So now I can see water tower, append, collection, water tower. Boom. And there's my water tower. So I have my fence, and I have my water tower. And they're in collections. That's groovy. So I'm going to go file, save. This collection here, I'm going to call it ground. I'm going to have that one selected. I'm going to go add, mesh, plane, or scale this out. That's going to be my ground. All right. Save one more time. I'll turn on my texture view here. So let's get some material for my ground. I'm going to apply my scale. Even though they're all, it doesn't necessarily all have to be one. They all just have to be the same. But I like it for all to be one. Hey, I guess I need to have it selected, don't I?
Yeah.
Let's just check its UV unwrap here. UV unwrap. That's good to go. So materials, ground.
Wow.
We could do kind of dirt like that. There's one that I like that I'll show you. I think it looks groovy. It's the one I used in mine. Battleground. It would be all bloody, like there was a massacred cow. Look at that. It's called farm ground.
Wow.
Let's try that one. I didn't see that one. A fur.
Ooh.
I like that. But I think we definitely need to scale it. It's not quite fitting the scale of the picture, so let's go to shading. We'll isolate that bad boy. All. Hey, look, it has the magic nodes. That's nice. It's already hooked up. all we have to do is just change this. Let's try 10. I always like to try a big number first. Just come back here. Sometimes you have to see it. That looks good. Just go 5.
That's good.
Yeah, let's take a look at that. So there is something happening though. As you can see the tiling. Can you see the pattern? See that pattern? Yeah. And I know a way to fix that, but it requires a plug-in, and I think I'm going to go ahead and get that plug-in for you. In fact, what I'm going to do is I have it. Oh, I minimized the wrong thing. Oh no, I did want to move. Okay, I'm going to put it in this Joe's folder. I may have already put it in here. Got it? Well, let me look over here. Oh, I see what that is. Oh, interesting. Okay. So I go over here, open up a new window, go to my downloads. I have a Blender plugins, Blender Guru. Right here. Actually, I'm just going to leave that there. And I'm going to open up this View Online. Shared. Joe Arnold, stuff from Don. Grab this, drag this down here. Uploaded it. Close you, go back to you, come down here. Where's that stuff from Don?
Is it behind that?
Right, let's put it over here. We'll just leave it there. So now when I come back here, I can go edit. Or actually, no, I want to put this in. I had made that folder in your downloads. So we'll open this. Downloads. Blender add-ons. Done. This is called Blender Guru. Yeah, we'll let it move it there. Okay, done. Done. This is a great add-on. I love it. I use it all the time. So this one works different. I just actually go to Append, and I go to my downloads, and I go to Blender add-ons, and I find the Guru, and I go into Node Tree, and the Polygon Uber Mapping Append. Okay, it's there. Trust me, it's there. Now when I go over to shading, instead of using this mapping node, I'm going to get a different mapping node. It's called Add. Go to Group, and there's this Polygon Uber Mapping. And if I put it right in between there, you can see how that string turns bright white.
Yeah.
Click there, so now it's in there. And now I can click on this mapping, right click on it, and say delete with reconnect. And that reconnects everything back to here. So this mapping node is very similar to the one that we already had. We changed the scale to 5. This time there's only one scale instead of a bunch. But this is the magic down here. I'm just going to go really fast. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to come up here, and you'll see, right now it's still all tiled. You can see all that tiling, but in about 2 seconds, ready? It's no longer tiled.
Wow.
Totally fixed it. So that makes it look amazing. But I think the scale needs to be more now. Let's go with 8. Yeah.
That's good.
That looks good. So our water tower, I'm going to move it back over here to this corner. So if I just grab this and start moving, what's going to happen?
It's not all gonna go with.
Yeah, it's not all going to go with. So what's nice about having it in a collection is I can right click on that collection and say select objects. Boom, they're all there. I can look from the top, A for all. Now they're all moving together, and I'm just going to put that guy right over there. There he is. Now the same with my fence, right? But I only have one fence, so technically if I do that, select objects, I'm just selecting that one guy. F3, and move this fence right down here to the corner. Now, what magic thing are we going to do to make this fence go all the way across? It's easy.
Copy.
Nope.
Modify. Arrow.
Array. The array, right? I don't want it to go in the X. I want it to go in the Y. Y? I think. Ooh. Nope. It must be in the Z. There we go. And that's lining up perfectly. So let's just go get a bunch of these. So I'm taking my time to get my view just right. Now I'm going to go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Good number.
I think now I'm going to do another trick. I'm going to go, I want to see what happens if I don't do this one step. I'm going to do this and go add empty. I should put it right in the middle. I'll grab this fence. I'm going to go ahead and just apply this array because it's done. That's right where I want it. Now I'm going to add another array. Instead of fixed count, I'm going to call it fit curve. Oh yeah, fixed count. Now, I know what it is. I come from relative offset to object offset. My object is going to be that empty. And that didn't fucking do shit, did it?
No.
Well, I know that if I do this, if I go object on this and I go apply, and I'm just going to say all transforms so that that is in the middle, everything is set the right way. Now I do my array, and I'm going to go from relative offset to object offset. And I'm going to pick my object to be that empty. I'll do it up here. And now, if I rotate my empty, if I could fucking grab my rotate, hold down control, $90 degrees, and then go count.
Wow.
Now I think if I grab this, first one, I think I can move this, and those guys will kind of come along. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to grab a new window, and I'm going to frame up down here in this corner, and I'm going to move it from over here. Boy, this is tricky. Ooh.
Very.
Hold on my shift. Check it out, I got fence. That was awesome. And I'm just going to go ahead and apply that array, because these modifiers actually slow your machine down, because it has to recalculate them all the time. There we go. So we have fence, we have a water tower, and we have ground.
Wow.
And we're going to hit save.
Great start.
Yep. Should we call that good?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll close that one. Oh. E. Didn't want to look at me. Holy shit, I'm ugly. Damn. That's gross. Okay, let me stop the recording. Stop recording.